Welcome to a groggy morning shave, not my usual, but here we are. Declaration B5 knot, very dense, still pretty much a young brush, I believe. Rubberset 400 handle, probably aluminum. I'm going to put it in my little soaking cup and get it wet. That's just the way I do it. You can just run it under water, let it sit for a minute if you want. Today's razor is going to be one of my favorite vintage razors, a Fat Boy. And we're going to set him on, 5 is probably a good starting point. This blade, this old Nacet blade, is liking the more aggressive razors, or at least mid-aggressive. And because after all it is 63 uses old, so today is 64. Gillette Nacet. The soap we'll be doing is a new one from Noble Otter, and this is their newer base. A lot of promise in it. I don't think I've tried it yet. And this was a collaboration, kind of limited edition soap with kind of some Texas formulation and Australian Private Reserve, I believe. Yeah, exactly. And it smells great. Masculine, woody, musky, spicy, all that stuff. I've heard great things about the base, so let's just hoke out some. And Noble Otter was already pretty good. It's a little thicker than, like I might call, medium softness, but not too much thicker than a lot of the other ones out there. I think Icarus is a little harder these days. Presses easily into the bottom of my shaving lather bowl. You don't have to use a bowl, you can just mix it on your face. By lathering in the bowl, by loading the brush in the bowl. There are, mainly two big camps there where either you face lather or you bowl lather. And some people do both. It's not like you have to choose. Some people just like the benefits of one over the other. I like bowl lathering. Now, in either case, when you have samples, you have to press some of the sample down into a container. So in that case, both people kind of become bowl latherers. All right, I've rinsed my face and coughed a little bit. Didn't want to do that on camera. So I'm gonna sling most of the water out of my brush, and then we'll start up. If you're a face latherer, you just take the tub and you take the brush, your damp brush, right into the tub and swirl for a little while. Some people go by how the soap looks on your brush. Some people go by the amount of swirls. I'm getting the fragrance is really nice coming up from the bowl here. I hope that means it's going to be reasonably strong. I like the stronger scents, and so I hate it when they develop a really good scent, but it's just not strong enough to enjoy when you're shaving. Throw in a half teaspoon of water. Yeah, it's a good scent. So then a face latherer would, and I've done some face lathers back in August. when I was doing Williams, I was trying to kind of give Williams equal treatment among a bunch of different performance scenarios. Wonderful, dense, shiny, early lather. And so a face latherer takes it right from the tub once they've loaded their brush up for however many swirls or seconds they want to do, which varies. If you've got a really stiff brush, it may take less swirls or less time to load up at what you like to use. Yeah, water just shot in and then right back out of the bowl. So then you have this concentrated, load of soap on your brush after loading it in the tub, and then you just start on your face, and of course it's going to be too thick. And you leave a little bit of water in your brush usually when you go to the load, and that way you've already got some in your brush when you start on your face, and it's going to be too concentrated, and that's just the way it's supposed to be. And you just gradually rub that around on your face, and then gradually add more water from the faucet onto usually people do it onto your brush, several drops at a time. It all depends on how much water you had in your brush to start with. And there you go. Just keep adding water until the lather feels right on your face, and then you do your first pass. And then problem with the face lather is you're restricted to whatever lather you can hold inside your brush. So if your brush doesn't hold too much lather, then you might have to go back and kind of redo everything on the third pass, or heaven forbid on the second one too. But here's a couple of the benefits of face lathering. Sometimes it's faster once you get the hang of it. You don't have to carry around a bowl with you if you're traveling. And the creaminess of the lather, and whether it's done yet in terms of adding water, it's so easy to know when it's on your face. Kind of makes sense. All right, look at this. This is a great lather. It's got good elasticity. Probably still, because of all those peaks right there, a little on the dry side. Some people you might want to shave with that if you just felt like a really thick luxury type shave. Just watch out, because sometimes if it's too thick, it won't bond with your skin and protect it very well, so be careful of that. So now we've got 3 teaspoons. Man, that's a great scent coming up from there. It's always a good sign for scent strength whenever it rises from the bowl, and I can enjoy it at this phase. Now, once you use a certain soap for a while, you can do things like, we've used up 3 teaspoons. You can do things like throw the whole 3 teaspoon in there in the beginning, and then whenever it comes together, then you know you're done. Some soaps you can't do that though. Some soaps you have to add it slow. Also, if I was doing the same soap, or if I knew that the soap could take it, I could ice-sling all the water out of my brush so that I can tell you how much water it took to work with it. But in real life, I would leave some in my brush, and then I wouldn't have to add nearly as much with the syringe, and it would come together faster. All right, let's take a look, show you a little bit of the Yeah, look at that, bending around. I think that's it may still be a little thick, but let's just try this out. I can always leave my face a little wet before I apply the soap. You know, I can always add water to the brush. All right, I'm gonna get my face wet one more time. So that took 7 minutes to build that lather. Some people don't have that much time, and so that's why I was telling you ways to shorten it by coming into the lather with more water in your brush. By just going ahead and pumping the water into the bowl in larger amounts. It'll help you have shorter times. Unless you just kind of like me and enjoy the meditative process of whipping up a lather. Now that's interesting. Go back and get some more. This brush, I think it's so dense and so new that I think sometimes it kills a lather. Oh man, it really feels like a good men's cologne, the scent, and it's, I'd say a 5 out of 10. Maybe a 6. Just it's perfect for me. I enjoy this type of strength, so I can just, you know, relish in the scent the whole shave. But that's also a strength where if you kind of on the fence about the scent, you may get worn out with it. All right. Haven't used my fatty in a while. My favorite. I love the Slim has a thinner handle, and it's a little bit longer, I believe. But and the head is a little slimmer, a little thinner. But I like the weight and the balance and the way this guy grips. Okay, it's not painful, but it is kind of grabbing a little bit. So let's assume that maybe the 5 setting is a little too harsh. So let's knock it down to 4. See what happens. Yeah, that's a lot better. Sometimes with this older blade, I'm getting great glide, so that means my water that I added was you know, I stopped at a good time. Sometimes you can tell if you didn't add enough water by drag on your face. Yeah, it's not as comfortable as a new blade, but it's like some of those older razors that had a little bit more blade feel. Kind of what it feels like. And I might not mind bumping it down to a 3 for maybe the final pass or something like that. All right, let's rinse it off. Well, that was a wonderful lather. Very slick coming off my face as I rinsed it off. And creamy as well. Remove a few of the extra droplets. I think what it might be is that this brush just doesn't hold very much pre-made lather. Now if I did a face lather with it, the soap might, you know, stick in the brush a little better, and then it would work well. But it's so dense. I think I need to wait till it splays out a little bit more before I can expect it to kind of, well, and you know what? I don't know. Maybe that's true, but it's especially true for the first pass. Seems to be kind of almost normal for the second and third passes. Brush feels great, super smooth. I mean, it's almost unfortunate because with a brush like this that is just nutty smooth, you're not able to really know how smooth the soap is, because it makes just about every soap seem amazing. You know what? On this second pass, I actually might dial it back up because I want to make sure I get a good cut, and sometimes you have to have the more aggression. So let's bring it back up to a 5 and see what happens on this second one. Still, that's really smooth, very enjoyable. You know what? Let's try a 6. Because now that that heavy stuff is knocked down, with the first pass, then this is going great. I'm glad I did that. This will probably help me to get a closer shave. I might even be able to go up to 7. With the new blade, I can shave at 7. It's a little aggressive for me, but I can do it. This feels tremendous. Very smooth. All right. That's something I hadn't thought of before. Most of the time I start more aggressive and then back it off as the shave progresses. So this lather feels great. Smells terrific. So this new base is just excellent. It's got a great sheen. But to be honest, sheen, I don't think sheen needs to be a big factor in decisions about whether your lather's good, because plenty of good soaps that I've used don't have much sheen. I think it's just a chemical nature of the soap, you know, and it doesn't really have too much bearing on how well it will do for you. So yeah, this new paradigm, where maybe I use a mid-aggression setting, like what did I used a 4 to knock down the early growth. And maybe this only applies to smooth old blades or just smooth blades. You know, there may be some that kind of come this doled off from the factory. And so and you might need to use it in that way. Use a mid-range to knock down the growth, and then it's a comfortable knockdown, comfortable cut. And then you now have the flexibility to bump it up a couple of notches with your aggression or changing of base plates or that kind of thing. And yeah, and then you end up with a really good shave, because this is really smooth and it's still on 6. So I hope that gives me a good result, instead of just being comfortable and not because it's not cutting well. Loving this scent. That is just nice. Shoot, that's just, I don't know if the second pass did so well that I don't feel like I'm cutting anything because it's not there. So let's bump it up to a 7. And this area right here that I just did is very susceptible to aggression and razor burn. And so if I can hit that at a 7 at the end of the shave, then that tells you something. It tells you that the blade is smooth. It tells you that the soap is really protecting very well. Nice. I'm gonna rinse. Okay, just looking at my shave here, and this is my tricky area, and I could walk away, and that's saying something with a 64th use blade. Now that I've kind of completed this shave, that's pretty wild. So that technique of starting mid and increasing the aggression with the second and third passes is apparently really working out. Wow. I am going to go ahead just for grins and do my usual 4th pass neck only. And a 1/4 teaspoon seems to be, almost the perfect amount. I got a little margin left over in case I botched up a pass or something before. Yeah, this scent is just right up my alley. That masculine, interesting, woody, musky. Like it. Really don't have to worry about this side of my face very much. It always shaves well. All right, let's rinse and take a look. Yeah, that was worth it. There were a few little guys that weren't quite flush, and almost all of them got taken care of with this last pass there. Touch-up pass, you could call it. So the result is about as good as I've ever had. And that's with a 60. Wow, a 64th use blade. That's crazy. And it just goes to show you that, if you want to keep blades for longer, you can. Just have good technique and mix lather well. And don't use mild razors. At least in my case, that's kind of the rules. So those are kind of the rules. So Fat Boy for the win. Just one. The Dart has given me some amazing shaves. The Bradley has given me some really, really good ones. But I think in terms of the razors that have given me the best shave when the blade is this old, even a Wolfman that was a little bit aggressive above the standard gap. They just weren't as good as what I just got. Fat Boy reigns supreme. How about that? And maybe it's all due to that aggression stepping that I was talking about. Anyway, I'm going to pack up here. Be back in a minute. So, with taking a blade this far, a lot of times I have had a shave that was where it was pulling just a little bit. It wasn't uncomfortable at all, but it might, you know, bother somebody on a daily basis and make them switch blades or something. But since I'm seeing how far a blade will go, then I put up with it, because after all, it's not really uncomfortable. Definitely not painful. And so I could see how some people would say, okay, it's not worth taking it that far. But today's shave, I think anybody worth their shaving salt would not have a problem with this shave at all. It was smooth on the second and third passes. Result was tremendous. And this is without going against the grain, and I got a great result. The dumbing down the first pass to the level 4 was I just don't think anybody would have a problem with that on an objective level. Whether the blade was early or late or whatever, I think they would enjoy that, and without any hesitation. So that's very interesting that I'm at such an age with the blade that it's at such a comfortable point, at least with all the ingredients for today's shave. You know, I think along the same vein as this soap might be Provence 63. It's a little warm, a little spicy. So I'm going to use that as my balm. Just now put a little bit of water on my face to help this guy spread comfortably. I like to apply it in the direction of my hair growth. Otherwise it kind of irritates the hair follicles bend around and it irritates my skin a little bit. Yeah, I think that's a nice match. And this is a favorite scent of mine, the 63. So it's nice that they play well together. So the 3 teaspoons was all that I needed to use. And I think that put my lather at a really good place. It still felt a little luxurious. It wasn't super thick and creamy and cushiony, but that doesn't give me as good of a shave. And so I think it was perfect. So that worked out really well. I'm glad I stopped where I did. So here's the soap. I wanted you to see the Noble Otter logo there for this iteration. They put some crazy wild critters on the otter, and this is the logo for the Australian Private Reserve. And so a wonderful soap. I love the strength of it, right around the mid-range. So I got to enjoy it the whole time. It wasn't obnoxious. It really more is, to me, it seems like more of a cologne-based soap. It's like there was some awesome cologne out there that they patterned this guy after, but I don't think that was the case. I think they just took some proven ingredients that are just well enjoyed for years, and they just mixed them up in a well done, thought out way, and they got this. Really happy with it. And it's my first try with the new base from Noble Otter, and I can definitely see why people are putting it in the same category as some of the best ones out there, like Barrister's Reserve, Holy Cow Donkey Milk, the Declaration, Icarus. I can see that. So I used Icarus the other day. I'd probably say I like this one just a tad better, but I think it's just a preference thing, a style thing. I think another person could easily try both and like Icarus better. It's nothing's wrong with either one of them. They're both great. Just whatever, according to your own preferences, that whatever part you like, whether you like it kind of buttery or that kind of thing. So there we go. What a great base from Noble Otter. How about that? Wanted to drop in and tell you a little bit about that balm. Very non-oily. Skin feels just kind of healthy and hydrated, not tacky, you know, like some do. And just perfect for me. I have oily skin anyway. I don't need something that kind of is thick and rides on top of my skin for a while and is absorbed through the course of 45 minutes or something like that. So just to report in there on that balm. Very nice. I really enjoy it. So I believe I've extolled over all of these items enough. The brush was fantastic. So was the soap, and the razor did just so the best that I've had one do at this age of this Nacet blade. And that's really, really cool. Maybe I'll try a slim tomorrow and see if it behaves in a similar way. Pretty cool. Well, I hope this helped you in some way. Take care and good night.